All right, Zhang Mingyang taking on Johnny Walker this weekend at UFC Shanghai. I'm going to be going through this entire card, giving my picks and breakdowns of each of these fights. Um, it's kind of an interesting card. Like for the lack of big names that are on this card, I actually feel like some of these fights, after doing a bit of research on a lot of these guys, I feel like a lot of these fights are going to be bangers, man. I feel like we have potentially a lot of exciting fights this weekend in Shanghai. So let's, oh my goodness, let's jump into this. Thought I was on the event already. All right, let's start with Ron Sati Baldiev versus Dr. Nergoze. I've seen a little bit of both guys. I believe both guys have only fought once in the UFC. Salty, God, we're just gonna call it Sati Baldiev. Is coming off a competitive fight with Martin Budai, who, as you know, is now cut. Dude, he looked pretty good in that fight. Honestly, like he looked pretty well rounded. He had a really good speed advantage in that fight. Ultimately, though, he just started to slow down because if I can remember right, I think that was on short notice. Looked real good in round one. Okay for part of round two. Started slowing down, and then Martin Budai just kind of outsized him and was just kind of too big and strong. Had him pressed against the cage, was landing takedowns, was landing big punches in the clinch, kind of dirty boxing him a little bit. So he really lost that fight on size because if you look at this, like, oh, he's now down at light heavyweight. Okay, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention there. That was at heavyweight, which I mean, dude, 222 pounds. Martin Budai is like an easy 250, 260. But I thought he showed some potential in that fight, man. Really good striking, good combinations, technical on the feet. Um, Now, Nergoze is coming off a knockout loss to Brinson Ribeiro, however you want to say it. Yeah, that was a tough fight, man. He got chinned, I think, about 2 minutes in. I think Salty. Why do I call him Salty? Let's just call him Salty. I think old Salty here is going to win this fight. I think he's definitely going to have a speed advantage. I think on a full camp, it's going to be interesting to see what Salty can do, right? Because he did look good against Martin Budai, who was, believe it or not, a ranked heavyweight. So that was a weight class up, ranked heavyweight. He's down in his new weight class here at light heavyweight. 6'4", good reach at 79 inches. Talented guy on the feet. So I definitely think he gets it done over Nergoze. Nergoze, man, like I was watching his highlights against Brinson Ribeiro, and just kind of slow, man. Slow combinations, kind of plods forward, similar to Martin Budai, except he's not as skilled as Martin Budai. And he showed, he's a little bit chinny. So I like Salty to get it done here. I think this is going to be I'll say second round knockout for old Salty here. All right, Zhao Long versus Suyong Yu. Um, I kind of went back and forth on this fight because Zhao Long is coming off a knockout win over Quang Li, decent victory, and then in his first fight, he lost a split decision to Chang Ho Lee. Dude, Chang Ho Lee, if you haven't seen Chang Ho Lee, I think he's the guy who calls himself the Korean Khabib. Beast of a grappler, nasty on the ground. I watched his fight with Cortavius Romeus, I think it was, where he submitted him, or he TK. I can't remember, or if he submitted him or TKO'd him, but beast of a grappler. Zhao Long held his own, had a really competitive fight with him, lost a split decision. And if you look at Su Young Yu, heavy grappler, right? Strong grappling base. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's 2-0. He's kind of been able to have his way with the last two opponents in the grappling. Physically strong guy, right? Especially for the bantamweight division. So this is a bit of a tricky one because Zhao Long did lose to a grappler in Chang Ho Lee, but he also barely lost to him by split decision. I don't think Su Young Yu is the level of grappler that Chang Ho Lee is, man. And I have to think with the knockout ability and the defensive grappling ability of Zhao Long, I have to believe he gets it done here over Su Young Yu. Su Young Yu's tough. This will be a good victory. But like these definitely both these guys are on the come up, right? I think Zhao Long gets it done. I've noticed Su Young Yu's a bit reckless on the feet, right? When he's pursuing a takedown or when he's throwing on the feet, he's a bit wide with his punches. Um, so I think Zhao Long can definitely catch him, and I think he will catch him. I don't think it'll be early. I think the fight will play out a little bit. So we'll go round 3 TKO. I think eventually he'll time a shot when Su Young Yu is either pursuing a takedown because he does it really recklessly, man. Like he kind of charges in for those takedowns. He's very effective when he gets in on the hips and can get those takedowns, but I think he leaves himself too open defensively on the feet, and I like Zhao Long to get this done by TKO round 3. Yiza versus Weston Wilson. I think I'm gonna go. Man, I think I'm gonna go Weston Wilson here, dude. Like I know he's got a shit record, right? 17-9. I just I don't know. I was watching some of Yiza's highlights, and like he's another one of those guys. He's pretty good at grappling, but like I've noticed he doesn't seem to have much top control. I can't remember who he fought, but I remember him getting a takedown fairly quickly and just immediately getting reversed and thrown off like nothing. Right? Weston Wilson's pretty decent on the ground. He's coming off a submission victory over that guy's name I can't pronounce, like I don't. It's some Indonesian guy. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't pronounce it. I give up. But he's coming off a triangle win. He's good on the ground, long limbs. I think he can use the range here, right? He's got a 2.5 inch reach advantage here. I think defensively he's good. He's has some dangerous ability on the ground to get a submission over a guy like Yiza. I think Yiza's again, he's like a bit reckless on the feet, right? He kind of throws reckless combinations, looping punches. So yeah, I think Weston Wilson will get this done. We'll go decision in this one. I don't see a finish here. God, I hope he doesn't weigh 160. God, I hope this wasn't a weight miss here. I don't know. UFC sucks at updating their fighters, especially on short notice. So we'll go Weston Wilson by decision in this one. All right, Michelle Pajeda versus Kyle Dawkins. Dude, I can't pick Kyle Dawkins in this fight, man. Like, if you go back 2-3 years, I would 1,000% pick Kyle Dawkins to smudge this guy and just beat him up on the ground for 3 rounds. 100%. Here's the thing about Kyle Dawkins. He's coming off back-to-back knockout losses, right? I know that one of those was Roman Dolidze, so you know what? No shame in that. Back-to-back knockout losses, right? Combined with the fact that this guy is coming off a 3-year layoff. Kyle Dawkins has not fought in 3 years, right? So I know Michel Pereira has been exposed as having zero cardio lately, right? That's why he lost to Fluffy. That's why he got pieced up by why do I always forget that guy's name? Abus Magomedov, right? He ain't gonna need the cardio in this fight. Kyle Dawkins, dude. I mean, two back-to-back knockout losses, 3-year layoff. I cannot pick Kyle Dawkins. I like Michel Pereira to probably get the finish in the first round knockout. This one's pretty easy for me, right? I know Michel Pereira is a can crusher, but he'll definitely get this one done. I think at this point, I wouldn't say Kyle Dawkins is a can, but like, come on, man. Only the greats can come off a 2-3 year layoff, like Dominic Cruz. Heck, GSP even had a long layoff. So Michel Pereira by knockout. All right, Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. I'm gonna go Rong Zhu. I think he's got the power advantage. I just think I don't know, dude. I just feel like in some of these fights, it's like the other guy is overall more athletic, and that when you get these lower level fights, like I feel like that makes a big difference, right? I think Rong Zhu's more athletic. I think he's stronger. You look at them physically; they're about the same reach, obviously about the same height. They are the same reach. I think Rongju can crack. I do think he has some potential in the hands. I'm gonna go Rongju. I'm gonna go Rongju to get the finish in the second round. Austin Hubbard, he's just one of those guys, dude. I just don't see much danger from him, right? Like he's just kind of plotty. He just, peppers shots and moves forward, tries to clinch. He'll go for a takedown occasionally. I don't see like much athleticism or skill there with Austin Hubbard. I don't think Rongju's much better, but like I just think he's gonna out athletic him here, right? So that's why I'm picking round 2, knockout Rongju. Bars. All right, Charles Johnson. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Number 15 and number 15. What are we doing here? Okay. All right, Charles Johnson, Loner Kavanaugh. Charles Johnson, Loner Kavanaugh. What is going on? I don't know if that's my computer or if that's the website. Look, I'm going to go with Loner Kavanaugh. God, I'm getting confused now because the names are mismatched. I'm going to go Loner Kavanaugh. Dude, Charles Johnson, he just seems to not be able to use the range very effectively. Right? He's got a 3-inch reach advantage here, but bro, I just think he waits too long in his fights. Like, that's the frustrating thing about this guy. Like, this guy will, fraud check Joshua Van, and then he'll lose to Ramzan Timurov, who is a skilled guy, don't get me wrong. But it's I don't know, man. He just waits too long, and I think it gets him in trouble. That's what got him in trouble with the Ramzan Timurov fight. God, the names today. That's what got him in trouble in that last fight. He waited too long. He gave up a round, and that guy just did not give him that momentum back, dude. He just kind of peppers around. He throws out shots. He's very defensively minded, Charles Johnson, right? I don't think he does enough. I don't think he's aggressive enough as he should be. And that's where I think Loner Kavanaugh is going to win this fight, right? He's aggressive. Dude, he's got some solid wins, right? Solid wins. Jose Ochoa, great win. That guy's dangerous. Dangerous up-and-comer, right? We saw him do pretty good against Asu Amabayev in his last fight. Charles Johnson beat that guy. He beat Felipe, Jesus, what's his last name? Felipe, not Lima. God, I can't remember what that guy's full name was that he fought last. But again, he did what he had to do in that fight. He changed levels. He controlled position in the grappling. It was a tough fight for him, man. He got cut early in that fight, I think with an elbow. He still got the job done. He's aggressive. He's well-rounded. Good on the feet, good on the ground. And I just think it's going to kind of be it's going to play out similarly to Charles Johnson's last fight. He's going to be sitting here. He's going to be dancing around on the feet, popping out a jab here and there, trying to be all Tim Elliott-esque, because he kind of is. He is a little bit unorthodox. That's going to cost him in this fight, dude, because Loner Kavanaugh is good at pushing the pace, using that cardio. He can get takedowns when needed. I think he can control that grappling with Charles Johnson. I don't think there's going to be a finish here. I just think Charles Johnson is a super crafty dude. Hard to finish. I can't even remember the last time this guy was. I don't know if Charles Johnson's ever been finished, but I think Loner Kavanaugh gets this one by decision, just off aggression alone, right? Just off aggression alone. So yeah, we'll go Loner Kavanaugh on that one. Mahashate versus Gage Young. I'm gonna go Gage Young. If I believe Mahashate's only won one fight in the UFC. Gage has only had one fight in the UFC. All right, he's coming off a decently competitive loss to Evan Elder, who's a solid up and comer in that division. Right, he had a good account of himself on the feet. I think Gage Young is gonna have a striking advantage over Mahashate. Mahashate, I just don't think the hands are as good as Gage Young. I think Gage Young has more pop, a bit quicker. Mahashate is kind of defensive. Sometimes he'll get lulled into these brawls that don't end well for him. And, Gage Young, man, look at this guy. This is the definition of white trash right here. Gage Young, straight out of the trailer park. I like Gage Young to get this one done. I'm gonna I'm going to go decision in this one. I don't see a finish happening. Like I know Mahashate's a tall guy. I don't think it's going to matter, right? Reach inch and a half, but again, this is just like I think Gage Young just purely has more talent, so that's why I'm picking him by decision. All right, main card. We got Taya Lake Nueraji versus Kiefer Crosby. Dude, Taya Lake is good. I was looking up this guy's highlights. Very dynamic on the feet. Very good takedown defense. Good on the ground. This guy's good everywhere, man. This guy's a complete package, right? Calls himself Super Saiyan. I don't know about all of that, but I am picking him to win over Kiefer Crosby. Kiefer Crosby is not very good on the ground. Like he's okay. He's gotten submissions on the regional scene, but I don't really take too much into account. He's coming off a submission loss in the UFC, right? Taya Lake, I think, is going to be a little bit too dynamic for Kiefer Crosby because honestly, like I haven't seen anything that impresses me with Kiefer Crosby in his career. Like I think he just throws basic shots on the feet. He is a dog, dude. Like Kiefer Crosby is a dog. Make no mistake. If he can make this fight ugly, he could get the upset here. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Taya Lake is too dynamic. A lot of spinning attack, a lot of flying attacks. He can crack, dude. Like I've seen this guy putting people away on the regional scene. You know that confidence is going to be up, and I like him to knock Kiefer Crosby out. I'm going to go round 3. I think Kiefer's tough enough. He's enough of a dog. I think he can hang in there for a while. I think eventually Taya Lake's going to put him away in the 3rd round. Sumadarji versus Kevin Bojas. I'm going to go Kevin Bojas, dude. Like, Kevin Bojas, he's coming over off a win over Ronaldo Rodriguez. He looked really good in that fight. Very technical on the feet. Patient. Really picks his shots. Like, I'm impressed, dude. I think Kevin Bojas is super technical, man. Sumadarji is not bad, but I just think Kevin Bojas is going to school him, man. Like, and I think he has the ability to defend takedowns. Like, he is a well-rounded guy. I know he likes to stand on the feet primarily. I wish he would put it on guys a little bit more, especially Ronaldo Rodriguez, because he was kind of piecing him up on the feet. But he's almost like he's a perfectionist. You can tell he's a bit of a perfectionist. Like, he has to pick those shots perfectly. And I'd like to see him push the fight more, push for the knockout a bit more. Because, like, dude, he's got hands. He's got very technical striking on the feet. Assuming he's going to fight the way he did with Ronaldo Rodriguez, I'm going to go Kevin Bojas by decision here. I don't know. I was thinking maybe knockout like 2nd, 3rd round, but I'm going to stick with decision in this one. I think he's just going to school Sumadarji in every single round. All right. Sergei Pavlovich, Waldo Cortes Acosta. I'm going to go Sergei Pavlovich. I do think Waldo Cortes Acosta could give him maybe some problems on the feet. I have seen this guy get cracked before. You cannot get cracked by Sergei Pavlovich. So I don't know, man. Like, I think Sergei could probably crack him on the feet. He does got pretty good movement, but dude, he'd be salsa dancing out there too much. Way too damn much. He just always salsa dancing out there. Like, he's a skilled guy, but I think I've seen him get cracked by lesser men than Sergei Pavlovich. I think Sergei can catch him. But I can also see Sergei, like, dominating him in the grappling for 3 rounds straight. I mean, you look at what he did with Jairzinho Rosenstrike, right? Like, he dominated him on the ground for 3 rounds. People forget, like, Sergei Pavlovich is like a skilled Sambo grappler, right? I think he actually came from Sambo and then just started knocking motherfuckers out. So he was like, you know what? Fuck this grappling. That's too much work, dude. Let me just knock motherfuckers out. So I honestly think he can. I think he probably employs a wrestling heavy strategy in this fight, dude. Because Waldo Cortes is known for being kind of a flashy striker. Like, that's his bread and butter. I think the takedown's going to be there for Sergei all night. Honest to God, I can see this being another decision. I could see this being another decision. I think Sergei is like, he's trying to fight with a lot more intelligence, right? Because, like, when he was on like that 6-fight knockout streak, He did not give a fuck. He was going to walk forward, trade with anybody in the world because he knew he could knock them out. That didn't work with Tom Aspinall, who had a speed advantage. So he's been forced to kind of rethink things, right? And then right after that, Volkov danced circles around him for 3 rounds. Since then, he's a lot more conservative. He wants to take the path of least resistance. I honestly see him taking that path of least resistance in this one with Waldo Cortes Acosta. I think he's gonna wrestle him, dude. I think it's good. I think this might be boring as shit. I think this might be boring. It's gonna be like the Rosenstrike fight, right? Where he's just controlling him the whole time on the ground, not really landing anything significant. God, it's so hard to pick heavyweight fights to go to decision though, especially with a guy like Sergey. But I can see him wrestling Cortez Acosta and pulling off a decision. So I'm gonna go with Sergei Pavlovich by decision over Waldo Cortez Acosta. This is a good fight right here. Brian Ortega, Aljamain Sterling. I'm gonna go with Aljamain Sterling. Like, look, I know Brian Ortega's nasty on the ground. You're not submitting Brian Ortega, little bro. That's not gonna happen. Like, here's my thing. Like, and this might piss a lot of people off. Great wrestlers with decent understanding of jiu-jitsu will always dominate these jiu-jitsu guys every fucking time. Because you got a guy like Ortega who likes to be on his back and trying to work for submissions. Bro, you're not submitting Aljo. He trains under Matt Serra, who trained under Renzo Gracie. All those guys are very, very well-rounded on the ground. They're used to rolling with absolute killers. I mean, I'm sure he's probably rolled with some of Danaher's guys back in the day, right? So I don't think Aljamain's going to give a fuck. I don't think he's going to be afraid of those submissions. I think he's going to go to the ground. He's going to get takedowns over Ortega. This is a 3-rounder because I know Aljamain's... Look, dude, Aljamain Sterling's cardio sucks. It always has. The only fight I've ever seen that cardio look decent in was the Henry Cejudo fight. Other fights, it's like when it went the distance, this dude was just fucking holding on for dear life. So if this was a 5-rounder, I would probably pick Ortega to make a comeback in the later rounds. This is a 3-rounder. He's going to be on the ground on bottom position too long. He's not going to submit Aljo. Aljo's going to get those key takedowns. Probably not going to do much on the ground. Again, this might be kind of a boring chess match on the ground. The Aljamain Sterling is just going to be one step ahead, right? Like, he's going to be postured up. He's going to avoid the submissions. He's going to be trying to pass guard. He's going to stay safe, right? If he is in full guard, look for him to posture up, land a few elbows, little pop shots on the ground. It's going to kind of be a slow-paced chess match, dude. So I got Aljamain Sterling pulling the decision off of Brian Ortega. This one's fairly easy for me. Like, Ortega's just not submitting Aljo. End of story. All right. Main event, Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. I'm going to go Zhang Mingyang, man. Like, look, we all know Johnny Walker is chinny. Like, he's been chinned by just about everybody. He's coming off multiple knockout losses. That last one with Volkan Oezdemir was nasty, dude. This guy, I can't remember who said it, but someone's like, this guy is like getting knocked out like a cartoon character. I think that's what they said. But it is like he has the most spectacular knockout losses I've ever seen. Like he, it's like cartoonistic how Johnny Walker gets knocked out. Zhang Mingyang's a dangerous fight, dude. Like, Zhang Mingyang can crack. Big, strong guy. He's out there trying to make a name. Johnny Walker just doesn't have a chin left. And it's like, I just think Johnny Walker can't help but do stupid shit out there. Like, you look at the Ankalaev fight. This guy's throwing spinning attacks all the time. Jumping attacks. That's why he got caught and put away. Got his nose busted. Right? Like, he's just... He can't help himself. Johnny Walker has to do dumb shit. Zhang Mingyang isn't like that. Zhang Mingyang's technical. He's patient. He slowly beats your ass. He slowly dismantles you, right? I think he's going to put Johnny Walker away in the first round here, dude. Like, he can crack Johnny Walker. You mix that with the fact that Johnny Walker's going to be doing dumb shit. He's going to be trying spinning attacks. Maybe Johnny Walker can survive to the second round. Maybe. You know, at best, this fight's going to be over in the second round. I'm going first round. I think Zhang Mingyang is going to find that chin fairly easily, put Walker down, and just keep moving up the ranks. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy one for me, right? This is pretty easy. So that's it. That's the predictions. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Yeah, till next time.